Hello and welcome to the video. All right, this video is entitled, "This One Thing Changed Everything." So I love everything about driving. I love the smell of coffee in the morning. I love getting up early and driving at 4 a.m. I like watching the sunrise. I like taking people to their dialysis. I like taking people to their job at the bakery. I like driving people to the airport on their trip to Kuala Lumpur or wherever it is that they're going. Maybe they're just going from Sacramento to LAX. Everyone's got a story. And that's all fantastic, right? It's a great part of the job. But at the end of the day, we got to remember something that most drivers tend to forget. This is a business. It's called a gig, right? It's not a hobby. It's not a gig, it's a business. And you need to treat it like a business because it's getting more competitive, right? So what I'm going to cover in this video is the one thing that changed everything. Okay, so I'm going to get to that. That's going to be towards the end of the video. Perhaps you can guess what that is, and maybe not. But throughout this video, I'm going to cover treating it like a business. I'm going to cover driver mindset versus business owner mindset. And then 3 will be the one practice that changed everything, and we'll wrap up with key takeaways. So all that and a whole lot more, a few stories thrown in there, coming up. Hey everybody, it's Jake Rader with the Rideshare Guy, drinking a little Java here. Pom Shop, that means I like in Thailand. Pom Shop coffee. Pom Shop coffee. Okay, let's get into this. So by way of background, the way I used to treat driving was just kind of like, something to do. I didn't really think of it like a business. It was much easier to make money back then, so I didn't really have to think about it too critically. But as time rolled on, I realized that I was leaving a lot of money on the table. So in this image, you can see Pop's Diner. So this is, an analogy about treating it like a business. Now, if you started Pop's Diner, all right, you're going to run a restaurant. There are a lot of things you got to consider. You got to consider how much you're going to charge for your food. You're going to consider how much you're paying to get the food before you actually cook it and prepare it. You got to think about where you're going to put the restaurant, right? You don't want to put it like in the busiest part of town that might be the most expensive because you're going to spend so much of your profit on your location. So you got to find a place that's busy but not the most expensive location in town. So these are all questions you got to think about when you're opening a restaurant. Similarly, when you're driving, you need to start thinking about it in the exact same way. And that brings to number 1, treating it like a business, all right? Your car is a business, it's not a gig. So first thing is you got to track your expenses because it's no good if you just make a lot of revenue and then you spend it all on expenses, right? On your car payment, on your gas, on your depreciation, on water or whatever you have in your car, on cables, on car washes, on car repairs, right? These are all things that you need to consider as part of your business. And a lot of drivers don't do that. They just think, hey, I'm making this money, but then at the end of the month, they don't have as much money as they thought because they haven't done the numbers yet, right? First rule of business is know your numbers. And the most important numbers are how much are you putting out, right? Going back to the restaurant, right? There's no point in selling a lobster tail for $20 if you paid $40 for the lobster tail, right? You bought it for $40, you cooked it, you put a lot of butter on it, some salt, and it looks beautiful, and you sell it for $20. That's a loss, right? You're losing at least $20 on that product. So these are important things you need to start to figure out. Okay, 2, maintain your car like an asset, not a beater. Your car, your environment. If you want to know what difference the car makes, go and do 5 Uber rides. and you're gonna see a variety of cars. You're gonna see some people that keep their car very dirty and not clean, not a lot of room. The music is not great. They're not even cognizant of the whole experience that people are having in the back of their car. And then you get a driver who's really into what he's doing. The car smells good, the music's soft, the music's light, it's clean, it's roomy, they've got the seats adjusted properly. They're not talking at you, asking you maybe a question or two, letting you have your space. All that makes a huge difference, primarily in the kind of tips you're going to get, which can be up to 20, 25% of your revenue. So maintain your car like an asset. Keep it clean, keep it smelling good, and take pride in it. And set profit targets. All right, you got to know what you're expect. You got to set a goal, because if you don't set the goal, and it should be a goal that makes you a little bit uncomfortable, set the goal and then go get it. Okay, that's how you can make consistent money. Okay, if it takes longer than the amount of time you plan to work that extra hour or so. Get that goal. You'll be way more satisfied at the end of the day hitting your goal than working a set amount of hours and not hitting your goal. Driver mindset versus business owner mindset. So the driver mindset is hoping the app takes care of you, trusting Uber and Lyft, just driving, just taking every ride that comes your way. And that in this environment is no bueno, right? Anyone who's been driving for a while knows that Uber and Lyft do not have your best interest in mind. Uber and Lyft are companies, they're listed on the stock exchange, their allegiances are to their shareholders and their stock price. So get that one out of your head. You gotta approach this very tactily. The business owner mindset is you're making decisions based on your return on your investment, right? You're making your decisions based on how much profit you can or can't make. So every decision then is, will this help my bottom line or hurt my bottom line? And that's the mindset that you need to have. Number 3 now, the one practice that changed everything. And as you can see in the image, there it is. Stop taking every freaking ride. So this was a big adjustment I needed to make, because when I first started, I could take every ride because every ride paid basically the same, right? It was on a per ride basis. Once we got to upfront pricing, everything changed, because I did an analysis of like 50 rides, and some rides paid as little as $10 an hour and others paid up to $60 an hour. So you need to be able to learn how to calculate how much you're going to make per hour. That's the metric, okay? That's the math that you need to do. For example, let's say you have a 40-minute ride and it's paying you $14. Is that a good ride? No, for me, no, because I need to make $30 an hour, and that ride would have to pay me $20 for a 40-minute ride, and that doesn't work for me, so I would decline that ride. All right, simple. The other thing, a few other caveats around that is the shorter rides. You have less leeway on the wait time. So if you have a 5-minute ride, and let's say you have a 10-minute ride, and it's going to pay you $5, right? But you pull up, and that person makes you wait 5 minutes. Well, now you're getting $5 for a 15-minute ride, and you're only getting $20 an hour, whereas before you were going to get $30 an hour. So when you look at the longer rides, the wait time is going to affect you less. City rides I find are better than freeway rides, because your gas expense is less, right? With electric cars, hybrid cars, you're going to use more gas going 60 or 70 miles an hour than you will going through town. So these are a few caveats about thinking about it like a business. And there's a certain freedom that comes with being selective, right? You're not a victim of Uber and Lyft. This gives you control. And this is an important experience to have as a business owner, is you're in control of your environment and you're in control of your decisions. to make more profit versus less profit. So as I wrote, this one mindset shift turned me from hoping to controlling. All right. So the bottom line on this business mindset is what is the revenue per hour that you're making, right? Assuming you've figured out how to keep your expenses as low as possible, what's going to give you the highest return on your investment? What's going to pay you the highest dollar revenue per hour? You want to set a minimum goal. For me, it's $30, and then stick to it. Say no. You got to learn to say no. Because there's no point taking a ride that's less than that, because your expenses are going to offset it and you're not going to make that much money. You're better to just sit still, not incur any gas expenses or depreciation expenses, and wait for the ride that pays you what you're worth. Okay, key takeaways. Now look at that image, huh? I said I want an accountant with a green visor, and that's what it gave me. So the key takeaways is treat rideshare driving like a business. Profit is the bottom line, right? Not just your revenue, but your revenue less your expenses. Stop accepting every ride. That's the one thing. The one thing that changed everything for me was once I realized I could be selective about my rides, that all that Uber and Lyft were telling me about my acceptance rate was kind of BS. The important thing was the bottom line, how much money I was making, not how happy they were with my acceptance rate. So that's the bottom line. That's the key takeaway. So I want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channel so that you know when new videos come up. We're all about just making sure you drivers, me drivers, we all know what's going on in the rideshare driving environment. Go out and tell someone you love them. It's a great thing to do. You may be embarrassed or a little uncomfortable about it, but my God, it's something you'll remember on your deathbed, and they will certainly remember it for the rest of their life. Be safe out there. This is Jay Creator with the Rideshare Guy saying thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.